The objective of the Zomato summit is twofold. One is to recognize the restaurants which have been excelling from a consumer's point of view, right? So not from a jury's point of view, but from a consumer's point of view. We are awarding close to 15 restaurants on the occasion. The other purpose is to get the industry, the bigwigs in the Mumbai industry under the same roof. Establish a connect with them. The last time we did this event was 2.5 years back, so it's been a while for us as well. And we also have a lot of things coming up in the pipeline for the restaurants, for the restaurateurs to leverage. So wanted to tell them what's in the pipeline from our end as well.
Over in Mumbai, after a stimulating discussion on the first 6 months of a restaurant that featured some of the city's most successful restaurateurs, CNBC-TV18's Anant Rangaswamy moderated a discussion on the exciting and rapidly evolving landscape of food tech.
I was having a discussion with my daughter a few days ago. She's 28 and she's cool. She's got all the Apple things. So she was talking about somebody from Presto, the laundry service, asking her whether she would download an app, a Presto app, if it allowed her to schedule pickups and drops of her laundry. And she said no, she wouldn't want that. And later I asked her, what are the apps that really deliver? And she said, she's really happy with ClearTrip. And then she said she was happy with her bank app. And that set me thinking and saying, what is it that makes her happy? And the more I thought about it, it was because there was no human being involved after she asked the app to do whatever she asked it to do. Now, you're in the food space. What does the consumer want from the app? Of today. I mean, you're supposed to answer the future, but we won't get there. But today, what does he want? What is not available today that he still wants?
Some consumers know what they want to eat.
Right.
And I think that's the utility use case, in which case the purpose of the app is to deliver that food and get out of the way.
Right.
And then a certain segment of users want to find out what to eat.
Right.
And the purpose for the app is primarily to help them discover that.
Right.
And using all sorts of smart techniques, reviews, intelligence, figuring out who I am. I'm a vegetarian person who likes to eat Chinese food. Maybe the app can recommend the best Chinese restaurant in Bandra for me to eat at.
Right.
But I think beyond that, the app's job is to connect me with my food and get out of the way, and the back end makes sure that the food gets delivered.
Right.
It's the restaurant who runs that back end, it's their kitchen.
Or the delivery.
Or the delivery people.
The last mile guys, yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the real user experience the user cares about.
Right. So, last mile. Go to the last mile. So, if we look at it, and this is not a sort of classification of you, it is the reality of the world. I call it Domino's in the old days, when you dial a number and order. And up to that point, everything is perfect. And then either the pizza comes on time or it doesn't come on time. Comes on time, it's delight. Doesn't come on time, there's irritation, rage, anger, all kinds of things. Yeah. So here these worthies, they cook wonderful food, they pack it, they give it to you on time. It doesn't reach. Yeah. So there's an experience. The app has worked perfectly, but outside of the app, there are things happen, which is a problem. So how does one deal with that part of it?
So this is very similar to the scenario you said, right? There are app like a ClearTrip where you place an order for a ticket, you get everything on your email, on your inbox. So there is really no human intervention. In a case such as this, there is a human intervention because you need an individual to connect the two dots of consumption and from the pattern of pickup. Technology over here obviously helps you scale, helps minimize the delay, helps solve a lot of critical issues.
But those are all not huge and consequential, no? Those minimization of the delays.
Yes, well, to an extent where the delays are kind of connected to while your backend runs from the restaurant angle to the consumption angle. And the entire value chain of the customer delight kind of depends a lot on the customer experience at delivery times.
Correct.
You might have the best app, you might have the best food, but if the food reaches to the customer's doorstep an hour delayed, the entire experience of the food or the platform is lost. Hence, there is a great dependency on that last mile segment. And that dependency is always going to be executed based on operations, based on technology. and based on the overall manner and method in which you fulfill it.
Tanmay, you're the one sitting with big data. You got, millions of gigabytes of info. So what is it so important, this delivery on time, which actually puts pressure on the whole system? Delivery guys have accidents, they jump traffic lights. Suddenly, not just in this category. Yeah. We're seeing it in the entire e-com category. They drive irresponsibly, they're danger to themselves and to others. Is it required? I don't know whether you can, you've been able to look at the data and say how many people are really upset if food comes 15 minutes late. What happens?
So interestingly, delivery time is very important for people. Right. And I think primarily that's also driven by the fact that the user behavior is such that they order once they start feeling hungry. And so as soon as that happens, they're already hungry, and then the expectation kind of starts peaking. And this is like a very core sort of thing that's triggering your brain, which is hunger, right? So there's very little patience.
So where else do you use tech? Now, if we come to each of you and say, where do you use tech and therefore, improve life for the consumer?
For example, 6 months back when a Grab delivery boy was delivering an order, we would not really store the location of your address. So if it's Cattle Road, I would not save it. My rider would have the navigation, would go pick up and drop it. Now we save the location of your delivery address. So if there is another delivery boy who has no idea about what the Bandar dimensions are, he can just go and recall the data that you had on how the previous delivery boy delivered to your address and navigate himself.
So we need to do inventories every day. So now we're getting an app which would be connected to your POS. So you would get your stocks same day. What we are doing is you get a sensor, like it's a size of a button. You insert it in your bottle, seal the bottle. As the business hour starts, if example say Smirnoff has poured 10 packs, the bartender has poured 10 packs.
You got a deal with Smirnoff?
I mean any vodka rather. Right. So the moment you pour say 10 vodkas in one night, that automatically will go to your POS because it's the sale which is created, and you'll get the stock report on that basis.
You could have done that without an app. I mean, you could have done that.
Yeah, we've created for everyone. Right. Like we'll sell that app in the market for all the restaurateurs in future.
So I mean, we have grown tremendously in the last 1 year, and what we realized most was, to be able to catch up with the growth and to be able to scale up quite efficiently, we would need a lot of technology. It is finally a very, very operationally intensive business. And because we're doing everything, right from production of food to assembling it in each of the outlets to finally delivering it, to be able to manage the entire chain seamlessly, we would need a lot of technology.
If you have a business that's been running for 50 years, it's hard to institutionalize new tech inside the business. If you're building a delivery business today, the first thing that one might do is create an app, give it out to delivery boys, and the delivery boy gets up at 9 o'clock in the morning and says, I'm ready to go. And the app says, hey, go to this grocery store and pick this up and drop it off over there. And the technology has sent the order before the delivery boy gets to the store, so the store knows what that order is, has it ready, guy goes, picks it up, drops it off. Then the technology figures out that my delivery boy is at point X, now let's send him to this nearest point Y and have him deliver food. And suddenly the work that would be done by 10 people gets done by maybe 2 or 3. So
somebody who started the same business 10 years ago will have a competitive disadvantage.
Right, I mean today...
Unless he's stepped up.
Well, today, you can have a delivery boy and you can give them a 3,000 rupee Android phone, and that did not exist 10 years ago.
Sure.
So there's fundamental changes that are available today that just weren't available in the past.